Hey everybody, welcome back. Was gonna go outside fishing today. All right, everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Was gonna go outside today, try to catch an hour of daylight, cast the rod. Cast the rod. Here I'm thinking it's open waters, but I'm gonna start this over again because I'm stupid. All right, guys, so that's not even how I planned on starting my intro. Crap. I'm still laughing from the last mess up. Crap. Woosah. Let's try this again. No, not happening yet. Hey everybody, welcome back, welcome back. Was gonna go outside and try to catch the last hour of daylight and drop a line in a hole, but unfortunately I had a last minute meeting that came up and I started quite early today, so don't have full energy, but work day is done and wanted to be productive outside of work. And yes, I consider going fishing being productive. But since we're staying inside, I figured let me start on the next step of this motor, which is the carb, and then carry on from there. So I obviously came upstairs because the lighting downstairs is horrible for everything. But when I'm doing the carb, I think I want more lighting. I'm a bit gun shy with this thing. I know there's some fine tuning here that I could really mess things up with, but we'll see how far I have to go, see what the investigation brings, slap it back in. Hopefully it's not too bad. Slap it back into the motor and continue. So let's get started. Alright guys, here's our carb. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos around this, I haven't touched anything on this carb, by the way. This is exactly how it came out. The only thing I did was take it out of the motor. But as I mentioned in other videos, when I took things apart where I see nicks and stuff, I think things are apart. And I'm saying that because how else would this screw, you can't see it behind that plate there, but or whatever. How else would this screw have backed out? And look, that's like finger tight. So, oh, here, the carb drain or whatever, I'm able to just pull that right out. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna very carefully try to make sure everything is functioning and moving as it needs to. You can see the carb itself is gunky and dirty, so I'm going to try to give a cleaning, especially around all these linkages and joints. I am a bit worried about taking this one off with the springs, just in case I mess something up and then I'm fighting forever to get it back in, or if I can't. Everything seems to be moving. Oh, that's jamming it. Okay, everything seems to be moving fine, so and maybe it just needs a cleaning. Now what I want to do is check the float and the needle in there. The needle is the one part I'm scared of, because if I get any debris in there, this thing is not going to work properly. I was originally thinking maybe I just don't touch it, just clean it externally, put it on. It is easily accessible after the fact if there's an issue. But because I see those screws are off or loosened, and if I really try to move the body here, I could get play, which tells me I don't really have a seal here either. So I figured why not take this apart and open it. Now there's a gasket here, and I really hope one came with the kit when I ordered the gasket kit, but I'm not too sure. So let me start taking this thing apart. Like, look at this. Oh, almost forgot the most important thing. Need to go get a cup for my screws so I don't lose everything. Today's screw cup has been brought to you by Tim Hortons. Back at her. Alright, moment of truth. Hope I don't mess up this gasket, or hope it's not messed up, just in case. Just in case. Can be. Here's the gasket. from the carb. Should be replaced if I have one. I don't know. Sorry, phone. I am busy right now. Alright guys, so we got everything nice and clean on this side. Wiped everything down internally here. On this side, blew some air through here, hoping for the best. Hoping that there's nothing in there. But by the fact that I didn't pull much gunk, actually any gunk out of anywhere around here, it all looked really clean. We shouldn't be that bad. Hope for the best, and if it fails, then realistically all I need to do is take the airbox off to access this and pull this off, so it won't be the end of the world. Now, I checked the entire gasket kit, and it did not come with a new gasket for the carb. But this one, other than obviously the dents in it, is in one piece. What I'm not gonna do though is I'm hoping this one could go back in, seal properly. With how loose the screws are, maybe tightening them will give me what I need to seal it. But I'm not gonna put the gasket cleaner on here, because if I do, the gasket sealer on here, because if I do, I'm never gonna get this open to clean this properly again. So we're just gonna try to put it on dry for now and hope we get the seal. And that's about that. Alright, so we got it on, and if you rewind back to the beginning of the video, looking at how that gasket looked, it was not sealed before. This looks a million times better. According to the instructions on the airbox, you close this all the way, and then you open it 1 1/4 turns. Now, that's easier to do when the plug is on, because it actually gives you the full visual on how much you've turned. But if we start here and go, start here, and we go 1 1/4. So roughly over there, but we will do that properly later. Alright guys, so we got everything nice and cleaned, as clean as we're gonna get. We were extra careful, trying to keep all debris and gunk and everything out of it. After I cleaned everything, I moved over to the linkages, and I wiped off any discolorations and residues as best I could. And from there, I sprayed some WD-40 on everything that moved and worked it a little bit. And in all reality, everything is really smooth right now. We have improved on everything for sure. So that's the choke here. So I don't think I'm gonna take all this apart at this point. There's no sense. We're gonna take this downstairs and move on to the next step of this rebuild, is putting this carb back in. Hopefully there's no issues. So again, this phone never stops, but we'll check in when we get downstairs. All right, everybody, so we made it downstairs. We have our somewhat cleaned out carb over here, which is gonna have to be put on in this section here. But the first thing I need to put on before I do that is our reed valves. So I'm gonna set up this camera somewhere, get that on nice and tight, nice and snug, then try to position the carb. For the carb gaskets, I'm not going to use any sealer or anything like that, because the carb does come off periodically if needed, or gunky. And because in case I have an issue, I don't want to have to fight with it to get it off. So let me set this up, start working on the reed valves, and we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, buddy. One thing I forgot, I don't know if I mentioned in the video, it's been a while, but over here, where my hand's pulling out, that was the main front screw that was holding down the reed valve plate in place. And that was the one that broke when I was taking it out, and we had to re-drill it and tap it, but it all worked out really well. We had the vacuum going and everything, trying to minimize any sort of debris or anything that could get in there and then cause me issues down the road. Now for fun, not that I'm expecting to find anything anywhere, but I am running a magnet just across everywhere I could reach, just in case anything anywhere. Try to pull up a few shavings and hope for the best. Front assembly on here. I just want to make sure that we have the correct gasket here. I believe it's like that. Yes, sir. All our holes align, and that will be what connects the airbox to the carb here. I've already attached the one linkage, so that's all working. Now I got to try to remember how the other one went, but it is quite amazing at how loose everything finally got. Everything in here. So that's fully closed right now, and on the airbox it tells you what the position is. 1 1/4 turns out, so we'll be able to set that one ready. And that's going to be the choke here. It goes through the airbox. All right, making progress on the front end here. What I need to also do is figure out how that starter attached. I believe through here and in here, and that's why that last bolt was off. So let me figure that out. And I believe this has to tight fit in there, which just answered one of my electrical connections. So this had to slide in through this one up until it aligns on this one. And then once that aligns, this aligns there. This went through there. All right, we're making progress, and this was most likely down here somewhere because there's not much else. So, gosh dang it, we's making some progress. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we got the starter on, and while putting it on, the ground and wiring here could only go to one place, so that sorted itself out. Got to do the linkages, got to do... Where did this linkage go? I think this linkage was supposed to go in behind. I'll figure that out. There's another one that connects here to here. We got to do all the ignition coils, put them back in, do the fuel filter. Making progress, and we got to fix the one drain. We are making progress here. Soon we're going to be connecting all of this. But right now, what I'm going to do, and the only screw I didn't bolt down is this one. And that is because even though this is electronic ignition, I personally feel like I should be able to pull the cord here to try to start it, and it's seized. It doesn't budge. Now, if my electronic ignition failed, I'd be able to maybe start this thing, if I'm right, and they both should work, start this thing from here just to get home. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pop this all off and have a look. I don't know what to do in there, but I'm going to have a look, and hopefully we find the culprit here, or the answer as to why it won't and can't, but we'll see. Let me get this off and I'll check back in. All right, guys, so we got the cap off here. First thing I noticed when I pulled it off is I'm holding it and I'm pulling as hard as I can, and I could not turn this whatsoever. Now, I played with it back and forth and I got it looser. I was able to, now if I pull on it, it's stuck again, but I was able to get this a bit looser. I moved the little stopper here, if you can see, just to allow it to keep turning, and I was able to pull this out maybe 6 inches or so, and it almost felt like it wanted to recoil back to closed, but it just wasn't doing it. And when I put it back in its full position, the arrow for full recoil is past the section it's supposed to be in here, which is going to tell me either that metal spring in there, or whatever you call that, the coiled spring, or the rope, something's a bit stretched. But right now, the more I do this, the more, look, it's starting to bounce back a bit. The more I do this, the better it's going. So what I'm going to do is, I am a bit gun shy at this point to take all this apart, because if all that comes apart on me, am I going to be able to get it back together? I don't know. So I'm going to wipe this down, clean it up a bit, get some WD-40 in here just to get it broken up and moving a bit. I'm going to exercise it for a while, and yeah, then put the top back in and plan for the next episode, see what the heck we could start attacking. Now it's getting down to some of the finicky little things that will require my memory. But yeah, let me get at this. When I get that all back on, I will check out, sign out with an important message from our sponsors. So see you in a sec. Alright guys, so I don't even know if you could see this with the way the camera is sticking out of my shirt, but I cleaned this up, got way in there, exercised it a million times, and now for the first time since I've owned this motor, because it wasn't something I did when taking it apart, this just never pulled from the beginning, but now we have pull and we have recoil, and it's nice and smooth. Full back position, still slightly past that line, but I don't know what I could do without taking it apart, nor do I want to. So we got that in, and get this out of my shirt. Now what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna tip it, wipe it down a little bit more, screw that in. I don't even know where I'm pointing the camera because I'm losing my marbles. So I'm going to screw that in, put that back on top, and wrap this up and hopefully get a video out for tomorrow. I did go ice fishing, but nothing YouTube worthy anyways. But we're one step closer to finished. Looking good, getting there. Realistically, it's the end of February. If I don't have this done in a couple weeks, it's going to sit here all year, because as I said previously, I'm not going to jeopardize my time out on the water for this project. But yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. But before I wrap it up, I wanted to really give a shout out to a local catering company around here. Grade A food, top of the top notch food. I know I got a bunch of local followers around me, and yeah, so this place right here, I believe the cutoff is Thursday or so for the food to get it for the weekend, but you're not going to find much better food. This is quality, homemade Italian cooking. I'm by myself and I cater it here and eat to the point I'm sick, just how good it is. Plus you support local businesses in this crazy world. So please, please, please be sure to check him out. Try his food. I'm guaranteeing you'll love it. If not, try it again, because you should have. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. I think I'm going ice fishing this afternoon. Maybe we'll have a video. If not, maybe it'll be a motor one. Who knows nowadays? But we're a couple weeks away from water and the real adventures. See you soon. Peace. Peace. Whatever ways you're supposed to do it in whatever part of the world.